Good evening, everyone. As you may know, my name is Captain. I'm Captain Algar. This is one of my very first videos in English, and I want to make it in English because I want to make it public. I mean, for everybody. I will also make no one in Spanish. Okay, right, guys? También lo haré en español para los que me siguen en español. También se lo voy a hacer en español. So, well, today I have sad news, as you may know in my social media. Recently, I had some arguments. I was like not very satisfied with the IVAO. Besides all the crashes and all the problems and issues that they are having right now. Okay, so at the end, I just decided to make video presentation talking why I moved from loving IVAO to hating. It has been a long progress, but large events have dramatically marked how my feelings right now. Maybe in the future will change, but right now is this and this, and you know that I like to fly online in IVAO. This I think that might change, and I might stop flying IVAO. So as my viewers, I think that you have the right to know why, and also I want to give my advice to everybody who is about to join this network, what they will find. At least in Spain, and it's actually the Spanish division is like a good one. I mean, well organized, like an example from all of the for divisions. Also, I want to apologize for my my looking. Yeah, I have bear today. I've been in quarantine. I've been a long time since flying and doing stuff or working and studying. So I'm at home. Well, at home, not with my family, but yeah, you can understand that if I'm not everything at home is pointless to shave. Of course, I clean everything. I have showers every day, but shaving for staying at home is pointless. Okay, so moving on with my presentation, I will first introduce a bit how did I get into IVAO. Well, and then I will go to my early days. I will talk. I've been banned actually from IVAO. If it was like banned 1 month, I will also talk about it. I will also talk about people inside, what you will find inside the IVAO, what kind of people, you know, like typical people that you find in places, like this kind of people, you know, blogs. Then I will talk about the tours. Then finally I will talk about exams, and this is a thing that also make me annoy a lot, and what the features is providing to IVAO, or how it seems it will came out. Okay. How did it get into IVAO? That is a very good question. I went into IVAO when I was very young. I was a kid. Before I even get involved into like seriously into aviation and aerospace industry. I had a previous account that was like fake account because I was a kid, so I was below the age to have the account. And actually, I met people in my home city. They were doing like control. They were like a group of controllers. It was amazing. I even met the old chief from the division, who is a great man. I think that that man is brilliant. He has a lot of like, he's good at communicating and promoting events. I think that he has done a lot from IVAO, from the division. Well, then he was promoted, he changed it, and now he's no longer a member of the executive division of Spain. Okay, so yeah, I was like a teenager from 10 years old. I was doing flight sims since I was 7 years old, more or less. So I was quite involved. I was like a right kid, you know, the ones that with the voice, very high pitched voice, because of course I was very young. And yeah, I met them. I started enjoying it. I didn't know because before I used to fly offline, and well, I started a bit with it. Okay, my early days at IVAO, they were fantastic. More of them. I met so amazing people. Yeah, I just learned a lot. They were like people with passions. That were like high experience. They were even people in real life. So it was like good contact for me. Also, I met some nasty people, yeah, of course. But I have some good feelings in my heart about them and about helping me, especially as a controller, to managing the software, how to set everything, control people, some issues. like tips, you know, if this traffic is in this place, I recommend you to this one. And if you have too many aircraft and you cannot handle them, they will probably help you. And maybe it's not like the responsibility, but they will take their aircraft for you. That was very amazing. I always all my life will be like very gratified and satisfied because of them. That feeling was amazing. Also, I had very nasty people and people that didn't give a fuck about, and they were like flying with no idea. They just were people, you know. Also, there are people. I will talk more about them, but people like with thousand hours, but they don't have a fuck flying about. It's like, is that way? Okay, moving on. Uh, First ban, yeah, I was actually first ban, and you see a fighter, actually a F-22. I was banned with one of these fighters flying in middle of nowhere in a desert, because I actually, before flying that, I was like looking at all the rules and regulations. It was a long time ago. Now it's very restricted. Special operations, that is like how are called flying fighters and this kind of flights, no, are very restricted, at least in Spain, and from my knowledge, in most of the IVAO network. Well, you can go to places where no one connects and no one give a fuck about what you're doing, okay? But at that time, it wasn't that much regulated. I was like complying with everything. Like, I was in the border of what was legal and illegal, but I was protected, let's say. So, well, actually was flying, doing some loopings and flying very far away between Syria and Iraq. No one was there. No one was there. And actually, one guy from Damascus, which was like 300 miles from where I was flying, was trying to contact me, and it was very disappointing. Just ignore him. And suddenly he might send a wall up, which is like calling the supervisor. I was talking with the supervisor, and okay, say, well, you can do this, but please don't fly here. Fly in another place. Okay, right, I can do it. Okay, no problem. Next day, when I wanted to fly in IVAO, I find out that I'm banned. With no point, because I comply with what the supervisor asked me. So I think that it was pointless to report or try to ban me. Okay, so I was very disappointed, and I just sent a mail to HQ, the high directive, and asking why this guy banned me for this reason, but however, in rules and regulations says this, and I complied, and when he asked me to leave, I left. So there's no point to ban me, okay? I never had any problem before, and now you're banning me. Okay, so I had an answer to the mail and said, yeah, you're right. However, because he's a supervisor, we trust him, and we cannot change the decision made by the supervisor. So unfortunately, you still banned, and you will be banned for 1 month. And you know what? And that feeling was like very. I was very happy. I was like frustrated. You know, they give me they give me a reason, but they say, yeah, it's okay, but sorry, we cannot fly anymore in IVAO for 1 month. Okay, so I went so disappointed that I actually was like 1.5 years without flying in IVAO, and I actually did in my logbook, because I used to have one logbook, like 700 hours of flying. Was a lot. I mean, before starting more deeper in my career, I was like doing 3 jumps like real pilot. You know, I was like flying from one point A to point B and then point C at least. So I was doing very deep simulations of everything. I like flying a lot, doing real procedures, and so on. So I was like flying offline, and very happy with IVAO. Then I move on. I said, okay, let's give another try to IVAO. And then yeah, I had good moments and so on. But we will talk more about this with people. Okay. Yeah, sorry. People inside IVAO. Yeah, as I said before, they're heroes. They are like bosses. The great people that help you, and you enjoy flying with them. You are like, as you see in this picture of a tower, working as a team, trying to give and provide the best service to the pilots. However, this is like the deal and you know real life is not ideal, and you have many kinds of people, and unfortunately every time we have more and more nasty people. We have the bad guys that I call you. Which are these guys? The sheriffs, the guys that they probably don't know how to control, or maybe they have they had a great grade and they have a strong control, but really they control in a very poor way. And what they do is basically they're a sheriff. You know, you are a pilot, you must obey everything we telling you, and if you don't obey, oh mama, you are going to be banned because I will call a supervisor. However, in real life, it's not like this. In real life, the last decision is from the pilot and the captain, and the air traffic control is there to survey, to give a good service and to provide enough data and safety to the flight. So if, for instance, I have an emergency, or the ATC is giving me instructions and I feel that that instructions are not okay related to my performance or whatever with my aircraft or my status, I have the last chance to refuse them and say, no, listen, this is not how it's going to do. I'm going to do this, okay? Please give me this. And normally it's a friendly interaction, and you will never reach this point. Okay, you will never ever. I don't know anybody. Well, most of the people know in real life, for instructors that have been flying for more than 40 years, never had such an argument with people. Okay, so yeah, you have this sheriff guy, and also you have the diva guy. The diva, you know the divas, the girls. They are like, oh yeah, I'm so fancy. Oh look at me. Yeah, I know a lot, and they believe that they're like the fucking bosses, you know, and they treat it like shit, or they get, or you're fine on a flight plan. Yes, but you know, you forgot this item in your in your equipment. Yeah, put this one, put this another one. Okay, if I'm doing for instance in SimBrief, they will give me everything, but I also like to make my own flight plans, and I might forget to small in AirNav because AirNav it has a lot of things. Is in remarks, PVN, blah 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 blah. Also, like your transponder is not about this aircraft. Who cares? This transponder is approved for my flight. I've sent it. It's okay. And this will make a lot. I will make a lot of emphasis later on about exams. But as you can see, it's not like very nice. You know, they give you lots of troubles. They are arrogant, and of course you have the heroes and these guys that help you. You enjoy, you chat with them, but you also have these kind of guys. So that's the balance. But sometimes the balance is not well balanced. It's not compensated. So when you have those nasty experience and those diva girls, well, diva guys, because actually, unfortunately, I haven't seen any girl in IVAO for like 15 years. It's thinking it's sad. It's sad, and I would like to have more more gender equality, but seems like girls don't like to fly. I don't know. It's a pity. Okay, so moving on. Tours, yeah, tours are great. You know, because normally I try to fly the company flights, or doing for instance typical flights and easy flights, because everybody is lazy. So for instance, going to Barcelona, Madrid, Barcelona, London, Barcelona, Ibiza, Mallorca, for instance, Zurich or whatever. You know, it's not like I'm not proving me as a pilot. I'm not giving 100% of me because I'm lazy or I have a lack of inspiration of flights. You know, and this give me a bit of interest because they give you words. So yeah, you have in your screen you've done this tour, blah 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 blah, and it's like, you know, plus that is it's quite good actually. It's like motivating me. It gives you motivation of doing things. However, so ladies and gentlemen, let me advise you, you also will have troubles. In the past, as many guys have seen my video, well, it's in Spanish, about mocking up of people. I was taking the piece of a validator because some validators can get very nasty. They say, you're doing a VFR flight from point B and from point A to point B. It's not going from a straight line. You should do like this. Who cares? It's my hobby. It's my time. and I decide how to fly, as long as I comply with the rules, and I'm not doing like anything illegal. So if I want to put like few points in my Garmin, I can do it, and it's actually a real VFR plan. It's like done like that, and you will get tired if you have more than 1 hour flying or having your hands in the controls all the time, of course. So what's the point? Or you have problems, for instance, they want to have you 6 minutes in RAM. Yeah, it's okay, but sometimes you don't have time, or sometimes it's too late, or whatever. And if you don't do the 6 minutes, they will reject your flight for only 1 minute. So if, for instance, if you're doing a flight of 3 hours and you are not staying 6 exactly minutes, exactly, at least 6. If you're staying 4 or 5, that's that. That's it. You're fucked. That's the way. So if you're doing a 3 hour flight, 1 minute of flight counts more than 3 minutes. That's the way it works. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that is how it's working. Actually, about. So this also makes me angry. Actually, once I did all the entire tours from the division, all 1 year, I did all of them. I even had sheets. I don't know if you have some sheets from here with some reports, because I was doing more. I was flying faster than they could validate me. Of course, sometimes they take ages. So I had everything set up. I was done with most of the tours. I was finishing my 6th airport tour, and actually, a guy that is no longer in the division, thanks to God, that guy is no longer in the division, because he was a pain. He was a pain in the ass. You know, he was terrible. That guy. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that I remember him, my skin is just getting sick. Okay. He rejected me like the flight, 1 leg, 2 legs. She said, you know, fuck you. I stopped flying. I started reporting the tours. I've done all the flying. I enjoyed doing the flying. I won't get a reward, but you know, I don't want to fly anymore with you. I don't want to follow all your rules. This is my hobby. I comply with rules and regulations, but you're still making it harder. I mean, most of you guys don't have a fucking fly in real life. Yeah, of course, some of you are real ATCs. Yeah, I know personally. I have even the phone number of some people. Yeah, I know, and they're most of them great. You know, they are good as persons. You enjoy flying with them or controlling with them. It's fun. But other people are like R1, are like the brats. You know, like the divas, like I'm telling you, or the sheriff. And this really annoys me. So the tours is also like good and bad. So yeah, sometimes I pretend to do the tours, but I know that at some point I will have a problem and I will stop flying. Well, this year, luckily, I'm doing my 3rd tour, and I didn't have any problem. By the moment, I'm okay. Okay, moving on. Yeah, exams. Yeah, this is going to talk, guys. If you're going to fly, if you're going to be examined flying, you won't be examined as pilot. You will be examined as ATC. For instance, VFR flying. VFR fly is done by following landmarks, and you know, you can have radio aids, but it's not primarily. It's not instrumental flight plan. It's not. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. This is asking me. Okay. So it's not primarily for doing visual flight. It's done by visual landmarks, and headings and timing, and using plotters. However, here no one gives a fuck of flying with plotters. They ask you to fly in rules like a soldier. If you miss by half a mile, you're done. You're suspended. You're suspended like that. My first exam was a flight from Ibiza to Palma, Mallorca. I did great. They asked me a lot of things. Of course, I answered everything correctly. There's no problem with that. However, once flying, your flight sim, of course, won't really match with what they're seeing, because instead of seeing what you're seeing, for instance, sharing your screen via Skype or another software, or Steam Viewer, for instance, they are watching on a radar screen as a tower, you know? It seems as they believe more in a software than not what you are saying or your procedures. They don't count anything about how you are treating your engine, how you're behaving, how are your turns, if you're doing a turn according to turn, if you're not, if you're stalling, if you're not stalling. They don't give a fuck. As a pilot, they don't fucking care you. So that's a problem. First, issue number 1. They don't validate if you're flying okay, if you don't fly okay. Even if you crash against the runway, as long as you can still your plane is okay, that's okay for you. Yes, that's okay for them. Yeah, that's okay. So, for instance, that flight was okay. I was doing patterns in Ibiza about out of the CTR. You can only fly from 0 feet among ground level to 1,000 feet among ground level. More or less. Sea level, yeah, is more or less the same because it's a nearly flat island. So yeah, there's not a big problem. However, they asked me the control to came back to the airfield, and as you see, the CTR is like a rectangle. So I was in the boundary of the CTR. For me, for my chart and for my reference, I was like nearly or even inside the CTR when I decided to start climbing to 2,000 feet more or less, because 1,000 feet is not very efficient from a propeller point of view. It's okay to know that propellers at lower speeds are okay, low altitudes are okay, but with some criteria, it's not the same flying at 1,000 feet like 10,000 feet, but for instance, flying at 2,000-3,000 feet is much efficient because it's in the curve. It's some mechanics and some physics, but anyway, I won't enter detail. So for me, I was inside Delta airspace. Yeah, but for the controller, because he was like with the radar and only behaving with the radar, and what says the radar is what it takes. Say no, you are in alpha space. You're failed. That's all. Okay, bye. I was sad, but yes, in his radar was true. So maybe should have been more conservative. But in real life, he's not working like that. Okay, moving on. That exam, yeah, you can argue, but yeah, you can give the benefit of doubt. However, this is my next exam. This, as you can see, is instrumental meteorological conditions. You see, first picture, look at the altitude, 1,200 feet. Yeah, they make me take off with a meter if they watch tough, if they have seen the tough. And I advised the instructor that it was going to be bad because I actually live near the airport, of course. So I was next to Barcelona airport. This was Sabadell, which is not far away from Barcelona. Say, listen, this weather is getting worse. It's going to be EMC for sure. No, okay, we'll take off. If it gets EMC, we'll try to find a solution. Okay. So, of course, after taking off, I'm doing the visual departure. And less than 5 minutes, new meter came up, scattered at 800 feet. Okay, so I'm screwed. I'm fucked. What to do? You don't want to descend, of course, because below you there's a ground, there's a terrain. So it's not intelligent to descend. The good thing is to ascend to at least the lowest safety altitude you have in the chart. It says the highest obstacle in this zone is this. Okay, is this. So you want to fly at least higher than that. But also there's a restriction that if you fly higher, you might get into alpha airspace. In Barcelona, it's very dense airport with very dense airspace, so you have to be careful. I say, exam, blah blah blah. I'm IMC. I don't have any visual with terrain. We are lost. I'm going to use my Garmin. Request a change to EFR and climb to 4,000 feet. Say, no. Careful, you are not entering in alpha airspace, and you are not allowed to climb higher than what is VFR allowed. Say, okay, I'm fucked. But listen, at least I know more or less where I am, and I have a VOR of Sabadell. Then he told me the VOR, but I had even ready the VOR, as you might see in the radio in the Garmin. I don't know if you can appreciate it. So what I did, I fly again to Sabadell, and I started orbiting and descending to Sabadell, because I knew at least the obstacles over there, in order to gain sight of the terrain and continue my flying. So yeah, I did that, and I continued flying. I did the departure. Here you can see in the next picture, in the top right, you can see Montmeló circuit. Yeah, it's where the F1 races are done in Spain, and you can see actually where the base of the clouds are. They are very, very low, and it's getting even worse because I was planning to go to Girona, which is inside inside the country. I mean, the terrain gets higher and the margin it gets narrower. Okay, at the end you can see that I'm still flying in like 50 feet from the houses. Now then it's getting worse, and of course then I enter in MC conditions. But the examiner didn't want me to switch to instrumental ones. When the proper thing was to switch, okay, you cannot fly. I'm sorry, that real life happens like that. So the real thing should have been to fly, for instance, to VOR Calella, and from there do the initial, where is actually I think that is initial approach fix from Girona, and do an ALS approach or VOR approach, because of course it's unflyable. So I went into EMC again with Wayne in thunderstorm, because I started to do thunderstorm in a small Cessna. And of course I want to say, if you don't allow me to fly EFR, I will declare emergency. Okay, give me 1 second. 5 minutes later, no reply. I found out that with big wind shears and thunderstorm, and my plane was rolling and banking. I end up I rolled my plane. I did a complete roll. I was inverted. I was trying to, with my horizontal indicator on my instruments, to keep the plane flying. But of course then I just crashed with the terrain, because I didn't know if there was a mountain in front of me or not, because of course I was in instrumental conditions and lower than the minimum safety altitude. So, well, the examiner said, okay, we'll ask with the division members that are in charge of me, and we'll look for another time for the exam. Yeah. Actually, fly a good flight plan. Instead of general, she could, because of course you can have cool flight plans, like cool visual, like for instance, if you are a small airliner and you're doing this flight, why not? He didn't like that. Also, when I told him I was using Garmin, he went very annoyed. He said, listen, you didn't write that in equipment. I said, well, it's not supposed that I'm flying Garmin. I'm not required for any procedure, or the airspace doesn't require to fly with a GPS, so it's not mandatory. It's my voluntary to use a Garmin, and you don't have to know if I'm using a Garmin or not. This is mine. Okay, yes, you're right, but not. I don't agree with you. Well, that's his point of view. But in real life, that is not how it's working. As long as you comply with the procedures and your regulations. For instance, if you want to climb more than fly out 300, if you want to get upper, you have to have a RVSM barometer certified. You have to have a certified airplane. But maybe you, for performance, therefore, because the flight is very short, you don't have to climb that much. And for instance, you're doing Girona Barcelona with the A380, or the F320, or a jetliner. You don't have to write, this is RVSM equipment and you can fly this. Of course, you will have a higher separation, but in practically, it's not affecting you. That is a big thing that take in mind, and because that is one of the points that at the end they told me. Okay, this is like the review of the exam, because then I fly to Canarias and we'll talk a bit of that. Okay, some errors with the theoretical part. Remember different type of airspace and how to interpret them and charts. Okay, yeah, he asked me a lot of charts. I did everything right, but he was asking me about an airspace class, and I was struggling to find out where in the chart was written that actually was this airspace. So I was struggling to find out where it was written. So that is the thing. Remember that we started IFIS. Yeah, IFIS controller. This is like non-controlled airspace, like small airfields. I didn't know how that was called IFIS. I didn't remember that, but I explained perfectly what it was. So yeah, that is the thing. Remember review method tab. Yeah, I actually explained very well methods and tab. But again, after doing like many methods, you can have confusions, or you can have a blank moment. And I just didn't remember once what CB, which is stupid, but sometimes you forget about that. Yeah, practical part. Yeah, well, this is I log into a different call sign. He said that is bad. I don't think that matters a lot. You can ask me, and that's all. But anyway, yeah, fly is what I was talking before. Not realistic. Remark about exam was missing. Yeah, I put actually a PP exam, which is practically the same, but they are like this. They don't want to see like side by side. You're doing or how they want to do it, or how real life is not like that, guys. Real aviation is not like that. And if you're coming from real aviation, like engineer, pilot, ATC, you will realize that these guys are all in his kind, and they don't want you to do like in real life, and you have to adapt to their way. It's good or bad, but that's all. You cannot argue with that. You have to accept it. That's the way. You had some problems turning VOR and NDV. Of course, guy, you are making me to try to tune an NDV or a VOR too far away from the station, like 60 nautical miles at 1,500 feet. I'm getting false signal. Yeah, Airflow Lab Cessna simulates that. Okay, this simulates that. So, yeah. I was, yeah, I'm turning it. Now I have signal. No, I don't have. I have only DME, but not OBS. So, yeah, wait, please. We'll continue with having, and I will advise you further when I have signal or precise signal. First, it was not good. Unnecessary comments were made during flight, and English communications were read back in Spanish. Well, this is very funny. As you can see, guys, I'm talking really perfect in English. I don't have any problem. Okay, my accent is before I had a very good British accent, but since I spent more time in Spain, I lost my accent, and now it's like more standard one. But you can see I can talk perfectly English. The ATC. Suddenly, well, the examiner actually was talking to me in English. I answered him in English because if he told me in English, I will answer him. But my next communication will be in Spanish. In any point of the exam, he asked me, "Please speak me all time in English. Talk me in English your phraseology." Okay. He never told me that. Never. That keep it in mind and remember it for later on. Necessary communications. Well, you are my examiner. I want to talk with you. I want to tell you what I'm seeing because you can see my screen. I want to comment you like a few things as part of the ATC communication. So how do I do that? How I manage if you are only in TeamSpeak controlling me and evaluating me? Yeah. And also I want to say, first estimated time arrival and Morro Hable was not accurate. He asked me during climb, what is your expected time to Morro Hable? Because I was climbing, I was in a lower speed that increased. So I take my calculator, and I divided the distance by my current ground speed and give me that time. Later on cruise, because I increased my ground speed, my time was different. And I again reported, but he still says, no, you give me a wrong time, okay? You give me wrong. Well, that's the way. You see how they work, these guys. You see them, how they are working. So, I mean, I'm not criticizing them. I am just explaining you to be able to take your own, conclusions. Yeah, you take your own conclusion. I'm just pointing my experience as a person that has been more than 10 years in this sector, in the aerospace sector, has done an experience flying and as engineer and doing procedures for airports. And I know very well airspace. I know very well real regulations. I'm for sure they don't have fuck over these ICAO PANSOPs. For sure. They don't know what is PANSOPs or how airport design with all regulations and all landmarks and everything. But they want you to remember exact numbers when in real life you have more or less things clear, but you will always go to your book and revise them. So that's the way. Yeah, that is also a stupid comment. And yeah, to end up, yeah, he started to simulating in final approach in Gran Canaria, which was I was doing a flight from Fuerteventura to Gran Canaria. Radio comms failed. I started talking to him. He didn't reply me. He was like playing. Yeah, he was playing drums. He was like doing things with the microphone, with noises. Of course, it was stupid. That thing was ridiculous. I wrote to him by text. Hi, I'm final approach. Please clear me to one. He didn't want to clear me because he was still simulating a radio failure. Okay, so I said, oh, you're making a radio failure. Well, anyway, exam blah blah blah. Go around to radio failure communications will proceed as file in the chart. We'll be orbiting at the airfield at that. I think it was 500 feet. But I didn't know that IVAO, because it's now getting shitty, the servers are very very bad. Actually, the servers crashed, so I went offline. Well, at least from his monitor. So he said, "Okay, LAN, and we'll talk next day about doing exam. You have to, if you want to pass the exam, you have to do the circuit. So I will write you another time to make to meet and finish exam. Okay. If you don't have to do the, if you fail, you don't have to do the exam. But anyway, I will tell you. Okay." He didn't give me a reply. It's my 5th day waiting for a reply. So because I like to check everything all days, my personal details in IVAO, I found out that that it was validating and all this stuff, but not because of him. So I just wrote a message, a mail to the validator. This is what I've sent, and you can just pause and read. It's free to you, but it's what I've been telling you about this exam. So, well, then this evening I received another email replying me. Well, here is the email. It says, "Hi Eduard, before you will receive the mail that you are complaining for nearly all your errors that were filed in your exam. I'm writing this email because I'm sincerely think that it's a bad humor joke. It's a very disappointing joke. First of all, I want you to know that as long as your examiner and all the people from my staff IVAO is giving you the time, it's okay. Yeah, it's giving you the time, and training sometimes are good. I don't deny that. But even if they are giving my time, I also give my time because I don't want to do the exam. I mean, I just give me the title. I don't want to do the exams. I want to fly and do my stuff. It's my hobby. So this is a pain of the ass. This doing the exam. So it's also my time. Is in order to him to give me the time, I also have to give the time. It's both ways. People may not understand that. He says that has a higher formation than yours and a longer experience in red. Well, he said treat me as everybody. Well, for this reason, IVAO is having less members. He only before, like 10 years ago, had more connection than right now, and people are going to bad team because people are more qualified for ATC and all this stuff, and you don't find this kind of sheriffs, you know, that I'm talking before, sheriffs and divas. Anyway, so sorry, he did. He tried to trick me. He was looking for things to write down and missing, and he didn't advise me. I need you to talk to you in English, because as you will see, saying not talking English means a failure of exam. Queda conocimientos sobre la red. Yeah, after more than 10 years flying the red in this network, the division and the work at system exams. Yeah, of course. Yeah, after a long time, yeah, I have problems. Yeah, I read yeah, I have read all of the documentation. Yeah, I have read it. I have read like what they have. That is a resume. Yeah, they're of real life operations, and sometimes some things are taken from ICAO, from some manuals. Yeah, I have read it, and actually have real manuals and the real books. I have even where is my book? Yeah, yeah, guys. When you read, you study for pilot. Yeah, you have many manuals, and you have to buy these books. These books, yeah. Normally from ESA. This is a good yeah, you know what it says. Global Navigation for Pilots, second edition. Yeah, I know. I suppose that more of you know more than reading these books. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great, great. And an applause for you. Yeah, I'll cheer you. Anyway, uh, yeah, I even read how to do the exams, but it was a long time ago. I didn't revise it. Yeah, I can forget some things. I'm human, but you cannot be like treating me like that. It's my hobby. We can hear you. You see how I know to fly. I'm complying with the rules. Why you want to be strict and make everyone to fly the same precise exactly way and not change any comma? When in real life people are different in every country. They have a small difference even in different flight schools. They have colleagues that they have trained them in a different way. Well, life is like that. Okay, more. Yeah, what I told you. This is good equipment. If I don't know, it's yeah, because I say that okay, I have a official certificate in English. Say I don't give a fuck. You didn't speak in proper Spanish. He even told me the guy. This is funny. I was speaking Span-English, which is a mixture of Spanish and English. And you have seen that I have been like 30 minutes talking in perfect English. So what the fuck this guy is talking? Has he smoked meth? It's wrong. Sorry, but you see me. You are okay. Yeah, it's yeah, but you know that it's not marking a flag. You know, if it's marking the flag because it's receiving the signal, that's why it's working. But because you are not in my copy, because you refuse to be in the copy, you are in a radar. You don't see what I'm saying, and you cannot validate what I am saying. So that's the point. You are not a flight instructor examiner. You are an ATC examiner talking with a real person that is doing the procedures as a human person, not as a robot, and doing things as a robot. Sorry if I get angry with that, but they are not validating as flight instructors. They are doing like ATC validating validating pilots, which is not as real life works because examiner will be in multi-crew in the jump seat and in one pilot rated in the co-pilot rating you. Okay, that is very funny. Yeah. You know the ground speed that you're using. Yeah, I'm telling that at the moment I was using my ground speed, but that changed. So estimated time changes because you have more headwind, tailwind. It changes. It's not a fixed thing. It changes with time. You know, it's time dependent. Yeah, and first of all, yeah, error que conlleva a un suspenso automático. So they failed me. Why? Say because I didn't talk in English. What? What? And yeah, suspenso automático. Yes. It's not what merece suspender. It's not like this. I was feeling that he was trying to trick me. It's what I was telling in English, but unfortunately, the English is not that accurate. I think because they don't understand what are the expressions. Because you can see my email. Yeah, you can check everything. I'm being transparent with to you guys, and I want you to make sure that as people that are newbie to EVAO, or if you are inside EVAO or you are thinking to go to EVAO, see what is actually in. I'm not saying that this is a bad network, but these things happen. These things happen to me, and you reach a point that gets out of your nerves. This is what happened to me. Okay, I will talk more about this later on. Yeah. So yeah, for my career, and if I'm a certified 8380 pilot and whatever, I don't want to talk about myself too much. I don't want to talk about myself too much. I don't want to give more details that I'm doing. Even my birthday date is fake. It says that I'm born in 1914 or something like that. Stupid date. I don't give my certificates or a social security number or whatever. I'm a person, and I don't want to share this with anybody, of course. So, and this is my hobby. I'm doing this for fun, also for training, because it's helped you, especially now, if, for instance, if pilot is grounded. I'm sure that some pilots will do more flying. I know some pilots that are doing, because I'm grounded, are doing these kind of things. This is what I want to feature. What the feature will provide to EVAO? Well, luckily, unfortunately, EVAO is getting every time more messy, more nasty, because they are putting shit programs to EVAO. Before it worked perfectly, but now we are putting new servers, new programs. They want to give a unified pilot software for Prepare, FSX, and Explain, which is not a good idea because there are different simulators. They have different cores, and they are script in a different way. So I think that every flight sim will have to have its own kinds of things. Maybe one will be better than the other one, but because they want to make everything identical, the same for everybody. See, no, but this is doing discrimination. So I argue with them because I'm an engineer and I know how to program, of course. So these people are doing shit software. You know, my life. The online day. I mean that 20th of March, I think it was. Well, due to coronavirus, they just did online connection. Everybody that same hour. It crashed. It was hilarious. It was very disappointing. Now they cancel also the event for yesterday. It was cancelled. Fly from all divisions to Dubai. Most of them, for like all Europe going to Dubai, cancel because they can handle that. Then EVAO was crashing every time. So today crash, in my exam crash, yesterday crash, and it's crashing because people are like stick doing the same thing. The way that it's working is not okay. So what I will be doing, maybe at least for sure, I will change. I will switch the division. I won't say any which one will be. Maybe American, Canada, British, whatever, or French, or I mean, I can speak many languages perfectly. I don't have any problem. I will switch the division. You guys, stay rest here. Bye bye, and that's all. And of course, now I have created an account of Vaccine, as you know, in my Instagram. So, but things can stay as long as they are now because it's ridiculous, it's frustrating, and it's not giving me good vibrations, So at the end, all people came here to have fun, to enjoy, to learn, and not to be arguing or having that kind of disappointments and being unhappy. And that's the main thing. So I've been coping with these things for many years, but you guys have an age. I'm not a kid, and my life has I spend time of my life here, but not for having arguments, not for having to cope with people that have fuck of flying or controlling, that ruins your day, that guys, you have to change. People will live, and actually they're living, and they're going to Patsim or to another networks. Actually, new networks are coming up, and they promise. So, yeah, thank you for watching and listening to me. As I said at the very first part of the video, we'll do the same video in Spanish. So, if you have any questions, whatever, you can comment and it's in the chat below, or you can go directly to my Instagram and I will receive your message, and I will be happy to answer you. If you have any questions of any kind, you feel free. This is a channel for everybody. I try to put DCS also. Yeah, the thing I didn't talk about was the ban. Yeah, then I discovered DCS, which was much better than explained in Combat Flight Sim. And actually, there's a 4-year server, which is great. You will see that it's amazing. So at the end, is this the way it reflects about? So yeah, it's good, it's bad. Make your own balance. I won't give you like, I tell you my experience. You know my opinion that my heart is divided by two. Is yeah, I like IVAO. I think IVAO gave me a lot of things, but also my experience is this one. So you know, at the end, make your own judgment. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to me, and I hope to see you in the next video. I'm preparing right now a tutorial about air refueling in DCS with the F-18, and see you guys. Bye.